Did Erika Kirk just get exposed in the biggest political money controversy yet? Because new reports and growing criticism are putting a massive spotlight on the money, influence, and political machine connected to Turning Point USA, and now people are asking serious questions. What started as a youth conservative movement is now being accused by critics of operating like a powerful political empire backed by wealthy donors and dark money networks. And according to multiple investigations, the numbers involved are absolutely staggering. Welcome back, everyone. Before we jump in, make sure you subscribe and turn notifications on because this story keeps getting bigger by the day, and the deeper you look, the more intense it gets. Now, let's talk about the money. Turning Point USA has always branded itself as a grassroots student organization focused on conservative values and campus activism. But critics argue the reality behind the scenes looks very different. Reports claim the organization raised nearly $389 million between 2012 and 2023, with funding allegedly flowing through powerful donor networks and nonprofit channels tied to billionaire-backed political influence groups. One report even mentioned a multi-million-dollar contribution connected to the Wayne Duddleston Foundation, raising even more questions about who is really financing the operation behind the curtain. And that's where things start getting controversial. Critics say these funding structures allow wealthy political donors to shape elections and influence public opinion while staying largely invisible to everyday voters. Supporters, however, argue the organization is simply fighting for conservative values and free speech. But either way, the spotlight is now locked directly onto Erika Kirk and the people surrounding the organization. And it doesn't stop there. In Arizona, legal complaints reportedly accuse Turning Point Action and affiliated PACs of failing to properly disclose certain donor information tied to campaign activity. Those allegations sparked another wave of backlash online, with opponents claiming the organization operates more like a political pressure machine than a student movement. Then came the Indiana controversy. According to critics, lawmakers who opposed a proposed redistricting plan suddenly found themselves targeted politically. Opponents claim Turning Point-backed influence campaigns helped pressure Republican incumbents and reshape local races through aggressive primary challenges. Now, supporters of the organization say this is simply politics, hardball campaigning that both sides use. But critics argue it shows how powerful these donor-backed groups have become inside American elections. And that's the part causing the biggest debate online right now. Because people are no longer just arguing about political opinions. They're arguing about influence, transparency, and whether billionaire-backed organizations now have more power than voters themselves. Meanwhile, social media has exploded with reactions. Some people are defending Erika Kirk and Turning Point USA completely, saying the attacks are politically motivated. Others believe the investigations and financial reports expose something much deeper happening behind the scenes. And as more clips, reports, and accusations continue circulating online, this story keeps getting more attention every single day. The real question now is simple. Is this just another political smear campaign? Or is this the beginning of a much larger exposure involving money, influence, and control inside modern American politics? One thing is certain, people are watching closely now. And if more information comes out, this entire conversation could get even bigger. So, let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you believe these accusations are legitimate, or is this all political theater? And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more updates as this story develops. What if one political organization became so powerful that it could influence elections, pressure politicians, and allegedly shape public opinion for decades to come? That's the question exploding across social media right now as Erika Kirk and Turning Point USA face growing criticism over money, political influence, and allegations tied to donor transparency. And the deeper people look into it, the more controversial this story becomes. Welcome back, everybody. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on, because this is one of those stories that keeps getting bigger every single day. Now, let's get into it. Critics of Turning Point USA say the organization no longer resembles a simple student movement. Instead, they claim it has evolved into a massive political machine backed by wealthy donors, media influence, and aggressive campaign strategies. Reports claim the organization brought in hundreds of millions of dollars over the last decade, with funding allegedly tied to major conservative donor networks and nonprofit channels designed to protect donor anonymity. And according to critics, that money isn't just being used for campus events or political rallies anymore. They say it's being used to influence elections, pressure lawmakers, and build long-term political power across multiple states. Now supporters strongly reject those accusations. They argue Turning Point USA is simply effective at organizing conservative voters and building grassroots momentum. But critics point to several controversies they believe paint a very different picture. One of the biggest examples came out of Indiana. According to reports and online commentary, Republican lawmakers who opposed a redistricting proposal suddenly became targets of aggressive political campaigns. Critics argue Turning Point-backed influence networks help challenge incumbents and pressure politicians into compliance. Supporters say that's just how modern politics works. Opponents say it's political intimidation fueled by billionaire money. And that debate is now spreading nationwide. Then another controversy exploded online after a protest incident involving a Turning Point USA reporter in Minnesota. What initially looked like a local altercation reportedly escalated into a federal investigation, drawing public attention from major officials and sparking intense backlash online. Critics questioned why certain individuals faced serious consequences, while others involved allegedly did not. And for many people watching this unfold, the bigger concern isn't just one incident. It's the growing perception that powerful political organizations may now have the ability to influence institutions far beyond elections themselves. That's the part making this story so explosive online right now. Because critics argue this isn't about one campaign cycle anymore. They believe organizations like Turning Point USA are building long-term political influence designed to last for generations. Some reports even highlighted the organization's rapidly growing financial reserves and endowment funds, fueling speculation that this is part of a much larger strategy for the future. Meanwhile, Erika Kirk has become a central figure in the online conversation, with opponents accusing her and the organization of pushing political influence far beyond what voters ever intended. Supporters, however, say she's being unfairly targeted because of her political beliefs and public visibility. So now the internet is completely divided. Is this simply a successful political movement being attacked by opponents? Or are these controversies exposing something much bigger happening behind the scenes of American politics? One thing is certain. People are paying attention now more than ever. And if more reports, investigations, or insider claims surface, this story could become even more intense in the coming weeks.
So, what do you think?
Are these accusations legitimate concerns about political influence, or just another example of partisan warfare online? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next update.